Ladies and gentlemen, I stand on the existing protocols to welcome you all to this August occasion and to thank you for honoring our invitation at a rather short notice. Today is a great day, and as they say, a great day is today. Today is the day the Lord has made, and we shall together, by His grace, commit ourselves to making history for our great party, the new Patriotic Party, and for our motherland, Ghana. I feel so humbled to see the kind of people I see here. Because these are people that we've been working together over the years. The kind of work that we've done together. It is this time that we are personalizing the work that we do as a party. We are personalizing it. We say, what have you done for me? What have you done? We are a party that believe in working as committees. Every decision of our party is arising out of consensus by a bigger body. It is not in the history of our party that individuals will be seeking glory for themselves. It's sad. And that's why, and as a General Secretary responsible for operations, it is not good for you to be saying things that you've done, because you don't do it alone. You do it with your entire executives. On this note, I want to call on all national officers, including deputies, and the backroom staff of our party. Director of Research, Director of IT, External Affairs Director. The kind of work these gentlemen do. It's sad that we have to go ahead and be saying some of the things that I'm coming to say. Let us all, with a rousing applause, thank all my executives, and my backroom staff. We've been working together in harmony. You are the pillar behind me. I am the pillar behind our leader, Honorable Frederick Wosmewu. A lot of you don't see what Honorable Frederick Blade does. If you have a chairman, by the structure of our constitution, I work towards him. Every decision we take, even in between meetings, decisions I take must be ratified by the national chairman of the party. We've been working together for the past 5-6 years, and I can say that all the successes we are talking about, almost 98% of the successes is from Honorable Frederick Blade. Mr. Chairman, we are done with elections in over 38,000 polling stations in our country. We've done elections to elect electoral area coordinators in about 6,500 electoral areas. We've done almost 98% of our constituency elections. We are left with just about 3-4. We just finished the regional annual delegate conferences of our party, and we've done 15 out of 16 of the regions. And the gentlemen on my left are the products of the elections held last weekend. You agree with me that unless, of course, you've not been part of mobilization, organization of political party, for you to be able to organize elections in 38,622 polling stations simultaneously, involving close to 1 million people, without employing the service of any electoral management organization. This is a wonderful feat by the new Patriotic Party. And I think that it is something that I want to seize the opportunity to commend our elections committees that we put in place across the country, constituency election committees, regional elections committee, national officers of the party who help in supervising such a wonderful feat. Yes, there were some few hitches at the beginning. We improvised and improved on the system. When we got to the level of the electoral area coordinators, we uploaded the nomination forms and got each and everyone who needed a form to pick the form. We did not hear anything about any problem in the electoral area coordinator selection. Close to 6,500 electoral areas coordinators were elected with our H. When we came to constituency elections, it's the same. We had a little difficulty, and I think that, ladies and gentlemen, we need to further discuss this matter. Where parties prepare, everything has been done. A day before a conference, somebody aggrieved or perceived aggrieved person just go to court and secure an ex parte motion against the party. It thwarts the efforts of all that we've done, and I think that there's a need for the party to have conversation with the judiciary for us to look at. But for that, we will have by now finished with all the regional annual delegate conferences. But you saw, by Sunday, it went very successful. And I think that this is something that all of us, including the security agencies, the Electoral Commission, and all, that they've shown that the new Patriotic Party is a party that all of us are proud of. As General Secretary of this great party, I am humbled to submit myself to this destiny-defining decision-making process. And again, when after all this has been done, the party is going to open nomination for national officers elections. I want to tell you that when the party opens the nomination, I, John Boadu, by the grace of God, will offer myself once again to be considered by the constituency officers and all the delegates to be gathered to be elected as General Secretary for the party. It is not for my own gratification. It is for the hard work that we've done over the years and the need for us to break this unnecessary cycle in our political system where the new Patriotic Party comes to build. Then in 8 years, another party takes over to break down all the structures that we've put together. We cannot be marking time as a nation. And if we must break this unhealthy cycle, you need the one who has done it before. You need the one who continues to do it. We need the one who knows the direction to ensure that the new Patriotic Party once again make history together with all of us. I'll be personal a little. My beginnings were indeed small as a young man. I began my journey as a polling station executive for Ablekuma South, Kolebu polling station in Ablekuma South. I did not have any higher political ambitions at that time. I just wanted to serve. I later became the constituency secretary, but God saw a general secretary in me. I went on to assume the position of research and information director for Greater Accra region and a national officer, but again, God saw a general secretary in me. I later became the national youth treasurer of the party. Then you elected me to serve as the National Youth Organizer, following which you elected me once again as the National Organizer of the party. And I was happy to serve in these privileged roles. But again, God saw a General Secretary in me. We can also recollect that at the peak of the NPP's all-time worst internal crisis in the build-up to the 2016 general election, resulting in the suspension of some senior officers of the party, the burden of delivering a seemingly impossible electoral victory for the then disintegrated and crisis-ridden NPP was essentially placed on the shoulders of me, and I have tiny shoulders. As the then national organizer of the party, I had the onerous responsibility working together with my team, particularly Honorable Freddie Blay at that time, Samuel Oku, then the National Youth Organizer. When I was given additional responsibility as the General Secretary, he was the de facto national organizer of the party. I had the onerous responsibility of organizing the rank and file of the party across all levels for the 2016 elections. I was called upon by the National Executive of the party to assume the huge responsibility of heading the party's National Secretariat as the acting General Secretary. Additionally, I was also given another responsibility to be in charge of operations and logistics for the 2016 campaign. I worked to unite and harmonize the 275 constituency campaigns with the presidential campaign, as well as invigorating, incorporating, and including our growing volunteer groups with the regional and local campaign efforts. In all this, John Boadu never complains. Rather, I graciously accepted the challenge and went ahead to competently blend these three strategic positions together with my communication prowess. This is something that I got a little from my boss, Akomia, when I was working with him as the Deputy Director of Communication, with him as the Director of Communication. We together delivered an unprecedented victory for the NPP in the elections by winning the presidential elections with over 1 million votes. Not only that, we also snatched as many as 55 parliamentary seats from the then governing NDC. It has never happened before. I was overwhelmingly appointed by the party's National Executive Committee as General Secretary because it was the fulfillment of what God saw in me when in 1995 I was serving as a polling station chairman. I repeat this story because people with political ambition need to appreciate the importance of patience, preparation, and God's timing. It took me almost 30 years of selfless service to this great party before I got to where I am today. We are here because we worked and waited. We sit in front of these seats because we clean chairs at the back for others. We planned for the party today because we were the apprentices of those who planned for the party yesteryears. This is the reality of life. Today I can say with all humility that I and Rita, for instance, are the only officers in history of this party who have served, but she concentrated on the women's wing, but I have served in various capacities of the party at all levels. Therefore, when I made, with the help of my steering committee, promises to you in 2018, it was not based on merely on the desire to win, but on the vast experience I had gathered from the many years I've served this party. When I promised to ensure that the party pays monthly subvention to the 275 constituencies and 16 regions of our country, it was because I drew from the challenges I faced as the constituency secretary in Ablekuma South with regards to financing the activities of the party. I remember in those days, I have to go and work, go and teach. The little that I get, I used to manage the office of the party and also use it to settle our boys and all that. And there was no money coming from anywhere. So I realized that working at that time and the challenges that I faced, there's a need for party to have a little resources, at least to take care of the operational activities of the party. It is coming out of experience of what I faced as constituency secretary. By the grace of God, I have fulfilled this promise, becoming the first general secretary to fulfill Article 11 of the party's constitution that directs that regional and constituency secretaries are paid monthly allowance. It is not worth noting that we're the first and the only party in Ghana to implement this. And I don't know any party anywhere that supports its party structures more than the new Patriotic Party. No party anywhere. And it is not because of anything, but it's because working with all these experienced people around, we realize that it is good to do those things. I promised to set up a unit at the party headquarters to liaise with ministries to deliver jobs for our teeming youth, and we've been doing that gradually. We promised to revive and adapt the polling station constituency concept, and we've done that. We promised to facilitate the procurement of vehicles for each constituency, each region, and some identifiable structures of the party. Honorable Blay, we delivered that. We made sure that in the year 2016-2020, even in 2016, we were able to resource our party to a level that was at the marvel of our opponents. In 2020, working with my chairman and my executives, we managed to make sure and not only provide them, we still get them to use the vehicle for party activities as we move on. We also promised to set up an ideological institute. We have done that. At least we've put together the governing council, and Right Honorable Professor Mike Aaron Okwe is the chairman of the governance council. The school infrastructure is in place. Lesson content has been developed. Official inauguration to be done after these internal elections. So all these things that you are hearing about where the party is coming from, who are the players, I can see Afaglo here. Afaglo is one of our most experienced youth organizers of our party in Greater Accra. He rose to become a regional organizer of the party. And Afaglo now is a chief. But he has not forgotten his roots. He believes that the new Patriotic Party is the best party to support. And even as a chief, with the experience he has gathered, Afaglo has one character. Afaglo is capable of soaking pressure. That's true. I don't think he knows that. You can have 10, 20 people talking to him at the same time. He'll be listening to everybody at the same time. And one thing about him, he will not deceive you. He will deliver whatever you ask. Seeing him here is a joy to me. Seated by his side is Vivian Gashon. We were together in Ablekuma South, came to the region and all that. We also promised, Mr. Chairman, to have conflict resolution committees at various levels of the party to resolve unintended conflict and even those ones that we know that will arise. And we've been doing that. Typical example is the recent ADR committee that we formed. That is part of the structures of the party. I want to once again, just as I've said, this party is not a party for individuals. but now we've reduced it to individuals. So I want to acknowledge that these achievements were possible because of the support and cooperation I received from all my colleague national officers, led by the National Chairman, Honorable Freddie Blay, Anti-Rita First Vice Chairperson, FF Anto. Most often he's in Kumasi, but you see his rich experience. It is only wound to me that is almost breaking his record. And he is a grassroots person as well, but he's interested in training. So the kind of things you see in Ashanti region, yes, wound to me leads the charge, but a lot of the work is done underground to make sure we see the kind of victory we are seeing. Omari Wadia is the third vice chairperson of the party. Amankwa Yabua is the treasurer of the party. I guess that by now he's campaigning. That's why he's not here. He's one of the, you see, coming from where he comes from, there's no doubt that he's capable of keeping our resources, to the annoyance of sometimes kids, to the annoyance of sometimes Aziz. As for Samir Uku, he goes to fight a little, come and lobby so that I can fight for him. So Abankwa Yebua, he does not listen to anything. Nambuache, the youth organizer, Nasara coordinator, Abdul Aziz Foot, I think that he needs to also be considered. We are having too much attrition in the Nasara group. So we are not seeing continuous experience, continuation of what we do at the Nasara level. Every time we have new Nasara coordinator, I think that it is important that we come to a level that we do that. Ladies and gentlemen, undeniably, as a leader, I'm not perfect. Although we promise to build constituency offices for constituencies that do not have permanent party offices, I've only managed to provide support for 13 of them. And that one, it is personal. I didn't bring it before the party. So this one is not accusation by national officer. It is accusation by me because I offered to do so. And I offer some of them resources. I support them and make sure that we have functional offices. But I can say on authority that our offices are the most equipped offices of political parties in Ghana. We have 4 computers in each and every constituency office, and it is all dovetailing into what the party has been doing over the years that I will bring it before you. I think that Honorable Okoboy touched a little about the parliamentary question, that some people are using it as a basis of saying that some of us, and because chairman is not there, all the attacks come on me. But I don't really mind. Hey, Debbie, send me back crisis reading place. Any Juma who did behind the scenes are Ajia Obetiasia. It is true in 2020. Yes, we won the presidential, but we lost great majority of our parliamentary seats. One thing that one must understand is that there are seats that are called borrowed seats. For instance, in 2016, we snatched 55 seats from the NDC. Out of these 55 seats, 23 of them we lost the presidential. We won parliamentary and lost presidential. Going into 2020, I knew some of the constituencies were going to lose anyway, because we won the parliamentary with close to 33%, 34%. In some cases, it is because the NDC parliamentary candidates or parliamentarian went independent against their own party. So the vote split and we won. So some of these things, in doing the analysis, you must be sure, and you know, for some of us who've been working with these numbers, we know why some of the seats are lost. And it is also true, the point that was made by Honorable Okoboy about the intransigent and strong position that sometimes our own members take, particularly matters arising out of our parliamentary primaries. I think that it is important that we take note of that. I'm also saying that even in addition to losing some of the seats, we also snatched 17. And these 17 are seats that we lost presidential in most cases. So if we don't put some structures together, your guess will be as good as mine. I am gracious enough to give them some education. Some of them who are saying things that are contrary to what the party constitution says. And I want to guide them because they want to be leaders of our party. Some of these comments are not comments that are good for the running of the party. At least some of these comments that they are making, they should at least spend time and read Article 3 of the selection of parliamentary candidates. Mr. Chairman, no single individual of our party can decide who becomes the parliamentary candidate of our party in any constituency. Strangely enough, it is here that we take most of these decisions, National Executive Committee. So all the decisions you see, it's not chairman. Chairman, what we can propose? We fight him all the time here. He sits around this corner. Chairman Divine can propose. Rita Sobaya can propose. I can propose. It does not end there. It is the same committee, National Executive Committee, that takes decision and decide on who becomes our candidate. I can't see how any general secretary of our party will decide not to implement a decision made by a National Executive Committee. There's no way you can do that. So let us reduce the mischief around and also continue to make sure things are done and done very well. Kukudu. 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 One other thing that affected us so much in the year 2020 was the advent of COVID. We had then not organized our parliamentary primaries. Then COVID set in. So it took us time to organize the parliamentary primary to the extent that we even organized it in electoral areas. That really affected us in terms of resolving matters arising out of the primaries. I must say that in the year 2020, almost all governments in power that went to elections in the period of COVID lost the elections. Germany is an example. India is an example. Germany is an example. USA is an example. And it is simple. If you check, for instance, in Ghana, our total GDP was growing by 7.3% for the past 3 years before when we came to power. In the year 2020 alone, our GDP was 0.4%. What it means is that the increments in productivity that translates to revenue for individuals came down or did not increase as it used to increase. And that is the reason why somebody will vote against you. Not to talk about incumbency disadvantages of some decisions that we took. I think that it is important that many of you who are campaigning for me become sober in some of these things and also respond appropriately by making sure that we are able to correct the wrongs and the misinformation. During this period of reflection, let us not look at the present and forget the past. I would therefore at this juncture remind the party and our esteemed members of some important issues of the past. The good book says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not his wonderful benefits." If God does not want his benefits to be forgotten, how much more the General Secretary of NPP? We must not forget that before 2016, the party had developed a reputation for losing seats and going to court. It was common to hear Ghanaians say, as for NPP, if you vote for them, they will sit down, lose, and claim that they were cheated. These are things that we were saying. And they will say, as for NPP, they always allow the NDC to bully them. These were the things that Ghanaians were saying. Ghanaians trusted us with their votes, but feared we could not count, protect, and defend these votes. However, all that changed in 2016. With great humility, the election management style of the new Patriotic Party has changed during my tenure working with my national chairman and my executives in 2016, when we successfully rolled out a robust IT architecture, an election management software known as Pink Sheet Tracking System, which had never been seen before in the Ghanaian politics. We did not rely on the Electoral Commission. We did not rely on the media. We relied on a homegrown party strategy, the Pink Sheet Tracking System, which made it possible for the party to collate its nationwide election results from all the 38,000 polling stations in a record time of less than 12 hours in 2016. In 2016. And this is the hard work of young women and men of our party. This is the hard work. In 2020, we improved on the system. We improved on the system to the extent that if we were the ones who have to go to court for one reason or the other, we would have been in court with 38,222 pink sheets, because we had scanned all the pink sheets from the polling station to our national data center. This is a feat that no political party ever known anywhere is capable of implementing. And it does not come cheap. It requires a lot of investment and resources. It should take Agenkesie together with his executives, particularly the regional party, the constituency party, because we at national only give directives and monitor that the directives are implemented. If the regional party, the constituency, the electoral area, and the polling station people do not implement your decisions, you cannot do it. So it will be wrong on the part of anybody, including myself, to say that all the victories is the victory of John Boadu. It is not, because it is a collaborative work, and we must give credit to where it belongs. And I believe that going forward we'll be able to deliver once again. Let us not forget the brains behind this most successful election machine in the party history. In 2024, we have an election to win. It is not time to test the waters. People have suggested that, having worked to deliver two successive victories for the party as General Secretary, I should consider taking appointment to serve in government. But I felt the party has invested so much in me, having spent almost my entire adult life serving the NPP, particularly at the headquarters. I therefore could not think of leaving the party headquarters at this material moment, not even for the most lucrative job on earth, be it in government or otherwise. My position is fortified by the fact that our great party is seeking to do what no political party in the Fourth Republic has been able to do, which is to break the eight and win 3 successive general elections. To achieve this, the party needs to put forward its best foot. And here, experience will count a lot. This is the time the rich experience that I have acquired working together with my colleagues for the party will be needed most. Certainly, this is the time the NPP needs my organizational and election winning experience as General Secretary. Even more compelling is the fact that our great party, the new Patriotic Party, is going to 2024 general election, may probably with a new chairman, because our chairman want to take a back seat a little. We also will be going, my national organizer, when after speaking they were saying too sure. The too sure is not yet in. We'll be taking a back seat a little in government. Our youth organizer will be moving up. Our treasurer will be moving. I will be left with Auntie Rita, and we will have a new presidential candidate, a new running mate. I think that it is important that the fulcrum to which the wheels of the party runs should be there to work together with the new administration that will be there. As a party, our history ought to be our guide, and we must learn the necessary lessons from same. In the year 2007, ahead of the 2008 general election, we made a disastrous mistake as a party and virtually elected an entirely new executive. It is one of the things that sometimes I feel so bad about. Somebody like Damboche, having worked as general secretary for a very long time with his achievement, if he was there to help in 2008, maybe things would have been different. And I think that it is important that we don't repeat such mistake again. I wish to conclude by talking about the current state of the party as evidence of our level of preparedness towards the 2024 general election. This is to show that as an experienced general secretary, I have ensured and continue to ensure that the party is well organized and focused only on winning elections and nothing more, nothing less. On account of this, today I am able to say confidently that by dint of our hard work as national officers of our party, working hand in hand with our various regional and constituency party executives, the new Patriotic Party is rightly so the most vibrant and best organized political party in Ghana. This was attested to by the 22nd Prime Minister of Canada who visited us here. Indeed, despite the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on political party activity, particularly in the year 2021, the NPP was the only party in Ghana, and I dare say in Africa, that was able to put in place proper arrangements and protocols that made it possible for the party to hold its annual delegate conferences in all the 275 constituencies in all the regions, and also held a national annual delegates conference. These conferences excite and invigorate the party's base as they provide the necessary platform for party grassroots and executive to interact and take stock of party activities and strategize for the coming year. Not only that, we are also the only party in Ghana that has been able to organize conferences in all the 38,000 polling stations in the country on our own, without the help of any election management body, to let our polling station. We've also done for the electoral area, we've done for the constituency. I chanced on the NDC program of reorganization of their internal elections. They call their polling station ward. The time for organization of a polling station was January to June. Something that the new Patriotic Party took 2 weeks to be able to deliver. Our opponents are going to take 6 months. Even as we speak now, it is January to June. We are almost in June. They still have not yet started their polling station elections. This can only be done when you have dedicated executives who focus is on winning elections, nothing less, nothing more. Following the successful conduct of these polling station elections and the conferences, just as you know, it is only Central Region that we are waiting for. The point must be made that these enviable feats were not achieved by mere chance, but as a result of the competence and experienced leadership we have put in place as leaders of the party, and the cooperation we continuously get from our rank and file, particularly party executive at the various levels. The NPP is therefore the party that is most prepared political party for the next election, owing to the strategic interventions that we have rolled out. Having come this far with the party, and having laid a solid foundation in preparation towards 2024 general election. It is imperative for the party to allow those of us who have led this reorganization process and more to complete what we have successfully started and deliver the much needed victory in 2024. Certainly, this is not the time to bring in an entirely and relatively inexperienced team to lead the party in what promises to be one of the most difficult general elections to be contested by the party. As we seek to break the eight, which no political party has been able to do in the Fourth Republic. The party, by the end of these national elections, must come out with an excellent blend of the experienced hands, such as an experienced general secretary, who has seen it all, to guide and assist any new chairman that will come, any new treasurer that will come, any new national organizer that will come, any new national women organizer that will come, any new national youth organizer that will come, and more importantly, with our national women's organizer, we will have the services of Antirata, any new national presidential candidates and or running mates that will come to effectively prosecute the elections of 2024 in order to break the 8-year cycle. On this note, I humbly call on our great party members, all our polling station executives, current and former, all constituency executive current and former, all MMDCs current and former, all members of parliament, all party faithfuls, all hard-working loyal party members of our party to rally behind me. I also call on all to support me to retain my position as General Secretary of the great party. Repose your trust and confidence in me, as you have always done, and join me to make history together with you for our party. Indeed, together we can make history of breaking the eights to continue to deliver prosperity to our people and our country. On this note, I want to thank you. I want to thank you very much. The faces I see here, if I was to put down invitation cards for all of you, I would have missed a lot of you. Yes. This shows the love. This shows the trust. This shows that working together for all these years pays. I want to thank you. Be the ambassador of John Boadu and my executives. Be the ambassador to ensure that what His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has done within those 5 years and getting to 8 years will successfully be continued by our next presidential candidate, and on the 7th of January 2025, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, working with all of us, will hand over the mantle of power to another presidential candidate of the new Patriotic Party. God help us.